Hey peeps. So now that the tea has been spilled and the news is out that I'm going to Alaska to teach in the fall, there's a lot of stuff I have to fill you in on as far as how did I get there? What was this all about? Like, Amanda, fill us in, please. Well, I'll put it to you this way. I had really thought about this probably, I'm going to say about Christmas time of 2020. And I started looking shortly after my birthday, which is in February. And I put some feelers out there, and then things just sort of rapidly fell into place. And just due to circumstances beyond my control, there were some things that I couldn't make public until just recently. And there were things that I had to do quite a bit behind the scenes. But one of the things that I did, and shout out to Wally Rose, I purchased this book. It's called Rural Alaska Teacher's Moving Guide. And obviously, it can't answer all of the questions for somebody moving from the lower 48 to rural Alaska, but it has really given me just a vast amount of information to help me in planning my move. Now, presumably, this book was put together for people moving there permanently. I have signed a contract for a year to teach in the village that I'm going to, and who knows what will happen after that. I truly don't know. I have a leave of absence from my school district here in New York, and obviously I have a life here. If I happen to decide to move to Alaska, that would be something that, again, I would go back to this book and really dive into it and, take some hard lessons from what this man and his wife put together as some awesome advice, honestly, for what a person or a couple would need moving to Alaska. What I really enjoyed and what I spent a lot of time flagging as I went through this, the particular sections as far as what to pack, what not to pack, honestly, and just the overall, I wish I would have known type of things. And here's the crux of all of this. I'm going for a school year, so 10 months, right? 190 plus days. I have presumably 2 suitcases that I can take with me from my flight from here to Anchorage. I'm not quite sure how much it's going to cost for me to check the baggages, excuse me. So then once I get from Anchorage, then I will have a smaller flight from Anchorage to Nome, and then from Nome to Teller. Teller is going to be the village I'm in. It's going to be a much, much smaller plane. So much smaller, though, I hope I can take my 2 suitcases. I'm not really sure. Since I'm not sure what I can carry on the plane and what I can't as far as limits with suitcases and things, I've started to ship boxes of items suggested in this book to myself, which is an odd concept, shipping things from yourself to yourself over 3,000 miles away. But I digress. So what I have done with the help of some friends and family, I've made a list of things that I absolutely positively would need and that I would be afraid that I would not be able to get in the local general store. Because when I say this is a remote area, there are no chain stores. There are no department stores, no grocery stores, no pharmacies, nothing of that sort. There is a general store in the village, and from what I've been told by the school district, it carries basic necessity things that you would find in a typical general store. But for instance, let's just say I want Colgate toothpaste. That's the brand I like, whatever. They might not carry Colgate. I don't know. They might only carry Crest. Now, am I going to squabble over that? Of course not. But also, we have to think of the cost. And I know all of you have seen videos, or if you haven't, you could continue looking through YouTube and you can see lots of videos of different areas in Alaska where the prices are astronomically higher than what you see in the lower 48. Now, mind you, I live in New York State, so we get taxed hard here. And so I know what it's like to pay an expensive price for things. But do I want to pay $8? I'm just picking a price for a tube of toothpaste. No, not when I can buy 3 or 4 tubes of that here for that price and ship it to myself. I know, I already hear your question, but doesn't that cost a lot of money? Yes and no. The U.S. Postal Service, thank goodness for them, they have flat rate boxes. So I have made it my mission to cram as many things into the flat rate boxes that I possibly can. And in one of my upcoming videos, I'm going to actually show you a care package, if you will, that I'm going to be sending myself. And with these flat rate boxes, I can put up to 70 pounds of goods. And with the size of the box that I am shipping, it's right about $22 all the way to Alaska. Now, it's not guaranteed to get there in 2 to 3 days, but it's going to get there. And it has insurance tracking and all of those things, so I can check to see when my packages arrive. And no, I'm not there to get the package. I know you're already questioning that. Like, who's going to get the package? Where's it going to go? Well, just like the schools here in the lower 48, they have people working in their schools year round up there as well. So some nice person is collecting the packages that are sent to me in care of the school. And that person, I'm going to guess, is either putting it maybe in my classroom at the school, not sure, or maybe in my housing, that's near the school. I'm not sure where. I'll find that out when I get there. So it's a lot of prep work ahead of time, obviously, because you are essentially going on, as my military family members like to call it, a TDY, a temporary duty. I'm not sure what the Y stands for. I'll have to check that out. Temporary duty. At least I know that much. And that's what I'm sort of looking at this as. I'm taking things that are necessary, but then I also have a list of some wants. And if I have room and if I can afford to, those wants are going to go with me. One of the things that I can't wrap my head around, though, I don't know clothing. I don't know how much clothing to take. I used to never worry about those things. I was have never been a type of person who cares about having designer clothes or any of those types of things. And not that I'm going to be doing any fashion modeling or anything like that. No, I know that. But what I mean by not so much what, but how much clothing to take, it boils down to, I'm going to be working, obviously, in the school, and there will be some type of social functions afterwards, just like with any other school. But then beyond that, it's not going to, I'm not going to really have the opportunity to be, let's say, running to the mall to, go shopping with some girlfriends or catching a movie in the local theater or something, because those things don't exist in this village. And that's fine, because that's what I want. This is the adventure that I have picked. And I'm 100% cool with that. I don't know the clothing that I should take as far as what to wear to school every day. I have some suggestions from the administration that's there, as far as dress code and things, which is wonderful. It's very helpful. But I also know that every night I think about what I'm going to wear to school the next day. And I'm going to say 3 out of 5 days a week, when I get up the next morning, I've changed my mind and I want to wear something else. I'm not going to have that option. I mean, whatever I take with me to Alaska, that's what I'm going to be stuck wearing. So I have to be really careful as to what I pack, right? I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do about this situation. I know. Hashtag first world problems, right? I shouldn't be complaining about it. And I'm not really complaining. It's more so I don't want to look like, oh, look at that New York girl coming in and look at all the junk she's brought with her. And boy, does she have another whatever. No, I don't want that. Like, I don't want to be obnoxious. I know I kind of already am obnoxious. Anyway, I don't want to be disrespectful to the community or to the culture or anything like that. So I want to make sure that what I'm wearing is appropriate, but I also want it to be comfortable, and I also want it to be warm and functional and all of those things. So those are the things that are consuming my brain sometimes right now. And then lastly, and then I'm going to wrap this video up because I never meant for it to last this long. But the other thing besides the little care packages and the clothing and stuff, the other thing that is really weighing on my mind, and this is really more of a very selfish thing, very, very selfish. I freely, truly, truly admit this one. I am concerned about the internet accessibility, only because I want to be able to stay in contact with all of my 90 followers that I have right now, and hopefully I'll get more. But I also want to be able to stay, obviously, I'm being serious about this, obviously stay in contact with my friends and my family. So that's just something that's been weighing on me as well. So as excited as I am about this, and I am uber excited, I do have some big issues that I have to think about. And, just like everything else, being an adult is very frustrating sometimes, but very exciting. But as a tough mama, I'll figure it out and I'll make it work. And you will come along with me for the ride, or you won't. Maybe you're still not here. Who knows? Maybe you've dipset on me. I'm not really sure. But if you're still here, thank you very much. And if you are at all fashion forward and have any suggestions, drop them in the comments. Serious suggestions only, though, because I am a little apprehensive about what to take in all seriousness. And if you happen to be somebody who has done this adventure, who has taught in remote villages in Alaska, specifically Alaska, because climates vary, give me some suggestions. I would greatly appreciate it. I will tell you that I know that where I will be, the winters could get down to as low as 40 to 50 below zero. But I'm not going to be hanging outside for great lengths of time. So anyway, drop comments below if you have some suggestions, like, follow, share, all of that jazz. And I will take a moment to breathe, and I ask you to do the same. Have a good one.